Alright, what's cracking, boys? Like I said, took it out here in the desert and tuning it. I still can't get it to make more than about 4 or 5 pounds of boost. And as you can see, I wanted to make sure it wasn't the Wastegate actuator. So I went ahead and blocked off the line that's the boost reference, and it didn't change the boost, so I'm kind of scratching my head here. But yeah, I'm actually riding it around looking like this. Super sketchy. Air fuel's looking pretty good when I'm riding it around. This is about the flattest road I can find, and I hit some bumps over there and almost lost control, so I'm gonna go a little bit slower than I've been going because it gets pretty sketchy with you know, a front brake and no back brake and no tank, no seat. It's actually not too loud. I think my Buell's louder than this thing is. Get into boost really quick here. Try a little launch, huh? Need to figure out why it's not making more boost than it is. The response from the turbo is actually really good. You roll in it and it spools up pretty quick. But yeah, man, that's about it. So I'm going to consult with some people that are a little bit more experienced with turbos than I am, and I'll see why I can't get this thing to make full boost. You know, for a while there, I thought it was going to be because of the Wastegate actuator, and as I said, I adjusted that Wastegate actuator, and it still wasn't making boost. And it's making some boost. I mean, you can feel the turbo come on, and you can feel the bike pick up quite a bit, but I mean, it's still, judging by like a seat of the pants dyno run, it's probably making 40, 45 at the tire. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and double check the valve last, see if the valve's moved. I checked it when I put the motor back together, and the intake valve was still a little tight, so I ordered some new shims, and maybe I could be having an issue where the valve is still hanging open a little bit. Maybe it's a little tighter than I thought, but it was still within the specs, so don't know if that's the problem. But I got the jetting pretty close, the air-fuel ratio. I'm not sure if you could see the air-fuel ratio when I was doing that pull, but I mean, it's down. Sometimes it dips down into the high 10s, but it's mostly in between like 11.1 to 11.3, which is a touch on the lean side, but it's fine for what we're doing. Also, I might be getting some leaks past that flange right there. It might be that when I welded this together, since the steel is only 1/8 of an inch thick, it might be that when I was welding it, it warped it enough to where I'm getting a pretty gnarly boost leak, because I'm not running carbon seals in this turbo, and you can see that there's oil that's getting sucked through the turbo. You can see the oil that's leaking down through here, and that shouldn't be happening, because if it was leak free, obviously it wouldn't be coming out of there. It should be just going through the motor and coming out the tailpipe. And I'm not really seeing much in the way of smoke under vacuum, which is what you'd expect with a draw-through setup. And it's doing this on both sides. So we'll come around to this side, and hopefully the camera picks it up. But it's leaking down here and down onto the cylinder. So I think that might be an issue. I re-welded some leaks in the exhaust. And I also, you can see right here, I noticed yesterday when I was riding it, I had a boost leak right here, so I re-welded it, and then to be 100% sure that I know it's not leaking, I put JB Weld on it. And obviously I'm gonna sand all this down. I might end up just making another one of these pipes, but when I go to put the final build back together, I'll sand this down smooth and then I'll paint it and it'll look good. And then I checked this yesterday too, and there was no leaks out of that. But yeah, boys, kind of scratching my head here. Obviously this building a turbo bike is way out of my wheelhouse. I just kind of dove into it, and stuff like this is kind of what you gotta expect when you don't really have any experience with turbos and you just decide, well heck, I'm gonna throw one on a little 400 twin. As I said, it's getting into boost, and you can feel the turbo come on and you can feel it make more power, but it's just not what it should be. With no wastegate actuator connected, this thing should be boosting, you know, it should spike to as much boost as the turbo can make. So the plans for this thing are, I'm going to go ahead and wait until those shims get in the mail. And once I get the shims in the mail, I'll put the new shims in, and then I'll just go ahead and, as I said multiple times already, the jetting's pretty close, so I don't need to come back out here. I'll put those new shims in, and maybe it's possible that, you know, the valve is hanging open a little bit. It seems pretty doubtful to me, but so I'll put those new shims in, I'll take it for a ride, and if I can't get that, I'll probably take a break from doing that so I don't drive myself crazy, and then I'll move on to, I'll mount the tank, and then I'll make the seat pan, and then I'll drop that off at an upholstery shop. And once I get that squared out of the way, then I'll jump back to trying to diagnose why I'm not getting as much boost as I should be. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a post on a turbo forum and just say, hey, I'm not really getting any boost. You guys got any ideas? I'm only making 3 or 4 pounds. So that's gonna be about it for this one, everybody. I hope you enjoyed finally see this creation somewhat come to life. I would have liked it to, you know, build some crazy boost and absolutely destroy this tire and light it up and go flying. That's kind of what I was expecting, but you know, this is how working on stuff goes sometimes. Sometimes, actually a lot of the times, when you step way out of your comfort zone and do something that you're not used to doing, you end up running into a bunch of issues that you for the most part, you're kind of on your own to try and figure out and solve. So in the next video, we're going to get I'm going to mount the tank. I'm going to put the seat pan on, so the next time I'm riding this bike around, I can ride it with an actual gas tank on it and have some sort of seat. This two-step, it's not working. I'm going to have to contact Dyna and see what the deal is. But I tried to use it via the clutch switch and I wasn't getting anything, so we'll see what's going on with that. I'll get the tank all mounted up and I'll get the seat pan made, drop it off at the upholstery shop, and then I'll come back to this. Keep my fingers crossed I can make more than 5 pounds of boost. I'd like to get it, you know, 8, 9, 10 psi. 10 psi would be pretty cool, because then, you know, if I double the boost from where it's at now, it's really going to start. It's really going to start cooking. And as I said in another video, I might have to scrap this motor and just swap in a GS400 motor and then punch it out to a 500. But maybe I'm not getting enough vacuum. Maybe the carburetor's too big. Anyways, that's it for this one, everybody. Appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button. There's going to be a lot more coming out of this channel, especially from this little GS400 Bad Max Turbo. Peace!